I said drop your weapon!
Hi, I'm AGM and I don't recommend people to do this. Even if I've been working on this since February, it's been one hell of a ride and I hope you've been enjoying it. With that said, I want to tackle something a little more lighthearted, especially since the last 3 videos will be something to behold. So today, I want to talk about the main storytime animator I watch, TheAmaazing.
I think his name is TheAmaazing?
No, this can't be happening. My 2 lives that I tried so hard to hide were crashing, colliding with each other. It ain't right! Cynthia!
Now, I have already talked about storytime animators in the past, with Jiren Animations being the earliest memory of this. But before her, it was this channel that really got me into the world of storytime animators. It also put me on the chance to watch other channels like Gimme Richu and Sultan Sketches, which I could easily make online wonder episodes about them, as well as Dapina. Look, I didn't say everything was. The first video that I watched about him was his video about online interviews and YouTube collabs, and let's just say I got both informed and entertained. Not only did it cover a personal yet general idea of how trying to make a name for yourself online is about, especially if you try to apply that for a job with someone else on their channel, but just like other YouTubers I have mentioned so far, I was thrilled to find the rest of his content, with his video about him murdering a dog being the next video I clicked on. Look, it's way funnier than how it sounds, I swear. With that said, you can clearly tell that he was starting out. The animation and visuals were a lot more simplistic yet still charming and clear to understand, but some elements like his body proportions could have been better from the start. Again, nothing to really write home about. After all, he was just starting off and he even talked about how he was a bit hard on himself regarding his skills as an illustrator. But like I have said on several videos throughout this special, it's important to acknowledge this is not a thing to put on a negative light, but to just appreciate how far he has come and how much he has improved over the years. He is certainly a guy that's all about quality over quantity. You can easily binge through his channel in about 3 hours or so, but the content he brings is something that at least I consider very entertaining and well thought out.
I made a giraffe! I did a tree! I drew furries! Maz, no!
It's not just random topics, but just events of his life told in an exaggerated yet personal way, with a few exceptions I'll get into later. But even if you have doubts about the direction he takes while making content, you can watch his video talking about storytime animation getting stale, in which you can tell that he's more about having a good story than just good visual marvel.
Well, just to reiterate a little bit, James and Jaden saw what was working and applied their own spin to it to make new content. However, in doing so, along with the animation squad, they popularized this genre. So what ended up happening was that people tried to emulate exactly the style that they were doing instead of making it their own.
Which is not to say that he hasn't pushed the potential that storytime animation can reach, it's just that unlike other forms of media, you cannot just expect people to do both on a rapid pace without putting them on burnout. His video about ripping his pants, as far as I knew, had him doing all the animation with only 2 more people working on the background. The video itself is pretty good. It has a good sense of pace, proper build-up, and timing on the jokes, as well as a solid style that you can tell it's already an improvement from his previous videos. Now take a look at his video talking about online fame, in which everything had a huge increase in terms of production, visuals, and most importantly, people involved, which is a major factor to mention because not only him but most animators of this department have improved because they can make better content in the same pace thanks to now being able to afford a bigger team.
Would get somebody saying that, hey, you used to live at 420 Bingus Lane, right? Or, yo, I went to Baba Booey University too. What they didn't realize was that I was already on the phone with the police, with super specific instructions on how to apprehend them. Get them, officer.
Animation, compared to some of the other type of content that I have mentioned through this marathon, takes a lot of time to make appealing for audiovisual audiences. Even if the thing gets bigger, time will always be a major factor for any product to deliver in terms of quality, which now that I say out loud can probably apply to everything. Take yourself the time to make the best product you can master, but you need to finish it. If you ask me, the topics that are tackled on his channel are more entertaining than relatable. I mean, sure, stories about cheating in school, lying, and maybe even stories as an artist can be relatable to people in those situations, but his story about being friend-zoned, stabbing his brother, and becoming TikTok famous don't match too much on this criteria given how personal the stories get, which again is not a bad thing, but it is a factor to consider if you haven't checked his content to this day. You don't need to be relatable in order to be entertaining, let alone thought-provoking. You just need to have something that you would like to talk about and express it in your own best way possible. Even if it's something deep like your own life in an environment that discriminates you to the point of making you feel bad about something so normal as your skin color. Shit, this got dark. Now, I am Mexican, and I'm grateful to have been able to live in a healthy environment that has treated me respectfully regardless of my accent and skin color. However, I am part of a low-class family, as well as my overall personality being enough for people to not like me simply because I would rather sit down and draw or play video games or overdoing sports, which did cause me a lot of bullying. So when he says that he would rather joke about himself with the answer,
Because if I do it first, nobody else can hurt me.
that hit like a truck, and I don't need to be a Pakistani Australian Muslim to understand that being rejected for who you are is not okay, especially if it's because of his skin color rather than, something he actually did. I won't go too much into it, just watch his video, it's really good, and the same can be said about his channel as a whole. I also relate a lot to the factor of how quitting your passions is the real point in which we fail due to asking ourselves if we're good enough. I even made a small audio talking about that question if you want to check it out. And sorry for all the rambling, I guess that's what happens when you try to cover content that has a lot of variety while keeping a consistent style throughout, so please check it out. But for real, both him and you, thank you for listening and stay amazing. Fuck!